This is for Jack. So at the beginning, when you came into Hex, you were like cool. You had a freaking YouTube video with Richard Hat. I mean, we all respected you. So you came up with Zen. No one had any problem with it. But at the end of the day, you came back and started talking. Being direct with Richard Hat. He didn't say anything about you. But you know how the community is, you know how strong we are, you know the kind of people we are. We are very, very intelligent people. We know how to read contract. We talk about stuff. But when you make comments like that, it creates resentment. So I think that was a time you really messed everything up for the community. But if you want to come back with your guys, you guys are willing to come back. But don't come here to shield your coin when we know what we're doing. People
I
gonna
don't think
speak
they're
up.
doing that. I don't think they're doing that though. I'm gonna be a neutral at this.
You
I
could,
don't
you
think
could,
they're doing that. I think it's a good conversation. It's healthy.
Yeah,
But at
yeah.
the end of the day, we just have to think about what I actually call a spade a spade. The whole idea of it is whatever. But I just don't appreciate the misinformation of certain people when they try to compare. Just like I hate when we compare ourselves to Bitcoin. I hate when we compare ourselves to different coins because there's no coin like us out
But
there.
famous. That's what I'm saying. When you're shilling, you have talking points.
Famous. What you
go
said
on.
about and that you need the next person. It's not true because you can be the next person. You don't need anyone else.
But you still depend on yourself to grow.
The thing is that you don't need the next person. You
In
can be
Hex, I don't need me to
one.
grow. I need the
And,
contract.
and
That's the
anyway,
difference.
the
Okay, so let me ask
the
you, if
purpose of
Ethereum
Zen
closes
is
for, let me ask you something, because honestly, you're really not talking the right information. If Ethereum closes today, the blockchain closes, bye-bye, how are you going to get more Zen? How are you going to help yourself and come back in? My stakes are in 4 years from now when we turn it back on.
We'll go to another
My
chain.
coin, okay, you can go, but that's not the solution. You see, that just shows that you need you're dependent on a human doing something. Me, Hex, well, yourself, because you're Hexican, your chain reopens, you flip the switch, all that time still works for you. Chain doesn't need to be on. It's the code, it's the way it works. We're uncomparable, and uncomparable to the code is not compared. That's why you guys have your own thing, but just don't come on our neck of the woods and try to come here and say we're the same or we're acting like this and we have core principles of crypto. You have your core principle because the core principles of crypto have been evolved, and it's not the same because Hex might englobe it, but it doesn't have a proper, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, the Hexicans are very misguided.
but
They
you
need to learn.
the
I'm not. I'm personally not very misguided, miss, but I don't think you understand what you're saying because your coin is dependent on the next person. The chain closes unless you're staking and utilizing your own coin. You cannot say that minting is the solution because you cannot mint when the things close. You cannot mint.
Can we ask Jack just his opinion on what you're saying, famous? Because I just like a second opinion, and I know
Of
there's
course,
many people like to
of
go
course.
first.
Zen the Zen community will still exist. Zen will still exist because it's on 10
I'm not
chain.
saying it won't. You have to listen to my words. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just
I
saying
just
you
want to
cannot
I just
No,
want
so
to
compare
you
the.
said
understand
that
that.
you
I just want
depend
to
on
understand
Ethereum.
the whole if no one comes in and it's just you and the contract. I just want to understand that perspective and how. And I just don't understand because then why is Richard doing all the marketing? Then why is that? I don't get it. But
How's Richard doing?
Richard
How's
is not
Richard
doing
doing
all the
all the
marketing.
marketing?
This is not a
so
security.
maybe
Richard is not doing the marketing.
that's just my opinion. Okay, so I could be wrong on that. I just want to understand this whole contract thing and how if more people don't come, then yeah, how does it work from there?
Hey guys, I'll suggest you guys to stick with Zen is an educational tool. That would be the best model. Don't compare it to anything. Don't compare it to Bitcoin because it's not comparable to Bitcoin. You shouldn't know yourself like
Yeah,
that.
100%.
Famous, I totally hear what you're saying, man. I guess the question was just for Jack.
At the end
Hey
of the day,
guys, can I put two words into this because
please.
I think somebody wants my opinion here. So number one, I understand and I agree that we shouldn't really be comparing anything to Bitcoin. I think it's all about marketing. When Hex was originally designed, it was called Bitcoin Hex. So I mean, comparison or not, the word was there. So that's factual. Let's just leave it at that. And again, this is marketing. It doesn't actually mean that Hex is Bitcoin or Zen is Bitcoin or Bitcoin is everything else. It doesn't mean that. On the question of Hex having a contract that generates yield for you, that's totally true. However, somebody, and I forget who in this group, brought up a situation: should Ethereum shut down? Should it shut down and never come back? Or, for the sake of argument, Ethereum still exists, but there's no people there. Anything you make with any coin, Hex, included will have no value because there will be no market.
No.
So
I said if you turn off the chain and 4 years later you turn it back on, I made money. If the next person you didn't make more by minting. I'm just saying by minting because you guys can stake also. So
hold on. You're saying you have not made any money unless you have sold. You have made hacks.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah,
you have made hacks.
Yes, exactly.
But if there's no market, then you haven't made anything. You just made numbers on a digital network, and it's true for everything. It's true for everything. So we dependent on people, always on people. It is the people that bring value with every coin. So that's my position here.
I'm going to take an unbiased perspective on this conversation as a whole and just kind of look at it from an outside the fishbowl perspective. And I will say, everyone's talking with a lot of emotion. There's very little logic going on, and it's kind of a turnoff for both communities. Honest to God, just after, like, it sounds like 12-year-olds sitting up here bickering and arguing, like we're supposed to be helping each other and trying to help each other grow within the space. Yeah, my point is...
Famous just explained it to you perfectly, bro.
It's not disrespectful for me to literally
what are you talking about?
Make an observation.
He just explained it to you perfectly.
No, guys, why don't you let him speak? Come on.
Okay, you know, if this is how the Hex community is literally going to treat each other, like, I want nothing to do with this. Like, you guys are seriously just the fact that you're coming on here to tell
You're comparing us to children, bro.
Like, you have an ego issue, and you need to check yourself.
It's not ego, bro.
Guys, man, that's not right, man.
No, I don't want to talk
anymore.
Have a good one. Good luck, Hex. Good luck.
Take care, Jay. I don't know why you guys did that. I don't understand, guys.
He told us nothing we said this entire time made any logical sense. We're a bunch
of
nuts.
But you have to understand, if someone doesn't understand, it's not their fault if they don't understand.
Yeah, but come up with a point before you disrespect the whole room, because there's some really smart people in here.
Hex hung out. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I do really enjoy the conversation. I mean, I don't really come to Hex rooms to get shilled about other coins like Sheep. I don't really come to Hex rooms to get shilled about Zen. And it is a vampire attack. And Jack knew what he did when he approached Hex at PulseCon, when he got on stream, when he approached the community and used the same marketing spiel that Hex has and replayed it and tried to pretend like Zen has anything to do. Like, what is Zen most like? Sheep. Like, you're just printing numbers into a database for garbage. And I talked about mind share, what you're losing, your mind, your time. That is the most valuable thing to you. You come to this room, what do you think about? What do you do with your day? That's the most valuable thing you have in the world. And like, if you spend it on garbage, you're losing it. So do be aware. Like King Daniel said, these are shills. Simple Water comes in and pretends to be a Hexican, but he's also very pro-Zen. And he's definitely holding space for Jack, and he's definitely towing the line.
I'm holding space for myself and my own opinions. I appreciate your casting and your forecasting upon me. But I actually learned about crypto from Richard Hart, and I'm very grateful for the Hex community. I just don't like the ignorance that's being shilled all the time from like a combative position. And it's like, you can be more than one. I can like blue, I can like red, I can like orange, I like purple, I can like all the colors. But, you know, just because you're one thing doesn't mean that, you know, you have to be just that one thing. I think it's important to see the playing field, and I'm just trying to understand and learn. And right now, Zen seems to be
one of the notice the conversation keeps looping
not chilling. From my perspective, when it comes to price, I'm not trying to lose money in this bear, and that's just how I am personally.
Oh, it's all about money. Cool.
Well, no, just if I'm going to be spending my economic energy and time, which right now it feels like I'm wasting right now, even trying to defend myself.
Sell the Hex room on Zen? Yes, you're wasting your time.
I'm not. Thank you, Hex Hangout. I saw you got served the other day on stream, so it's fine.
Oh, I got served. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's fine. We're all getting served here. We're all learning. It's part of the process. So I mean, me personally, I'm not chilling. I'm trying to understand, and I'm trying to.
No, you're definitely not chilling.
More than one coin, but that's cool.
So as you'll notice, the conversation kind of keeps looping back to Zen, and there are certain people that push it, and Jack is here, and his shills are here, and it's I'll go to a Zen room if I want to hear about Zen. I'll go to a Sheep room if I want to hear about Sheep, and it is a vampire attack. This is not the first. This is not the last. Figure out the patterns. How do they get into the community? How do they use their talking points, like King Daniel said? Figure out their talking points and cripple them. This, like, it's free. It's garbage. It is not free. It takes your time, your money, your transaction, your gas, your brain power. So combat their talking points. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, even if they say it 100 times. Keep saying, no, you're fucking wrong. It is not free. I really appreciate you, King Daniel.
Thank you, Hanks.
Hey,
We got designers. Hangs up. Okay, can we listen to designer what you want to say? Please go ahead.
Yeah, well, to me, I'm more of a gamer than an investor. So to me, investing is more of a game than anything else. I see money as points. I see value as personal. So there's the old saying: what is more expensive? What holds more value? A pile of dirt or a pile of gold? Right? And then, of course, most people say, "Oh, a pile of gold," but it said, "What about to a worm?" So it's like you all got your own personal values. You all got something that you value personally. Me, I value the fun and of just trying to get as many points as possible. So if I can play one game Zen, which it might be one game that I like, it might be an RPG in comparison to Hex, what might be an adventure game. Who knows? And to say that one is better than the other or whatever, that just makes no sense to me. It's
But
like
why would you buy a shitty game, bro?
listen. You don't
You know
need
what you know what I'm saying?
I'm not buying anything. One, the only thing I put a couple cents in to play the game, and it's just for fun. I want to see what the game develops and turns into. The game isn't even complete yet. The game is just started. You have no idea what the hell's it going to become. There's this whole bunch of mechanics that we don't even we're talking about it like it's done, like it's finished, and that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. I'm just playing the game just to see what it develops into, and if maybe it comes into something that I can exchange into fiat. Maybe it's something that's for entertainment. It's whatever value that you get from it, you get from it. And it's like, I'm not comparing apples to oranges. Just play the fucking game and enjoy it.
I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to our preferences and what you want to do, right? You want true decentralization, then allow true decentralization to occur. But at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that we all understand that we call a spade and call it properly, because misinformation in a massive group could cause misinterpretation. So just make sure you guys are talking about what's real, because hearing that things are compared, or this is this or this is actually this, like, we're gonna argue all day long, right? This is how crypto is. This is how it is. But at the end of the day, just don't be a capper, man. That's all I care about. So who had their hands up? Who wants to be next? So we can get people running through, because we have a lot of people trying to come up and speak. A lot of people I want to speak their mind. Who's next?
And I went in and Jack blocked me, so I blocked him. So when I became co-host, it automatically booted him, but I unblocked him so he can come back.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, guys, and let's just keep in mind real quick, like there's a difference between the Hexican community and Hex the asset. We have feelings in here too. I'm not immune to being wrong. None of us are. Some of us are a lot more wrong than others. So look, I want to hear from everybody, but if the first thing out of your mouth when you come up here is everybody's a dumbass and this doesn't make sense, just skip it, man. Skip to your point.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, busy we can.
Yeah, man, I've been listening for a while. Like, this has been a really good conversation. Just to let you all know, I have joined Hex. I've been in Hex for a while. But I just wanted to say, I've seen the Hex space grow, and I've just met you, Famous, and Trillions, and Simple Waters. I just think in general, we need to be giving more grace to people in the space, as in, like, understand that there's going to be people coming in new who aren't exposed to cryptocurrencies. So they're going to want some relativity, and they don't want to hear like abuse when they're learning about something new. So people need to be a lot kinder and nicer when we're spreading ideas. Because I think in general, you could say Bitcoin and Zen and Hex are alike. There's nothing else on the planet like those things. So we need to find relativity between the space and connect as a unity, rather than calling out things. And yeah, like earlier on, people were talking about using testnet. Use different testnets, because you can add features to Hex and other things with other tokens you like icosa and hedron and things like that. And in general as well, like the misinformation, allow people to make mistakes. It's such a new space and growing and having loads of new people. There's going to be disagreements and people are going to say things the wrong way, but just don't be abusive. But yeah, like this has been like a really good space. I honestly think that Richard Hart and Jack, if you look at it from like an athlete's perspective, people are talking about gaming and playing things like that. Those two people have done a massive impact in the world. So we should play with their systems, both of them. And people who are like Jack and Richard Hartley. We shouldn't be putting these people against each other. We should be kind of like getting them to collaborate or just looking how they are similar, because you can benefit from both. You don't want to be like, oh, my contract works by myself, I don't need anyone else. Then it's just going to be you and you alone. And you're talking about liquidity. Who's going to provide liquidity, bro, if it's just you and you alone and you're being like abusive to anyone else who's looking at it? Like, that doesn't work. Like, really be conscious of your actions, even in these spaces, and new people who, I guess, have a different view on life to you, and they may be stubborn, but
Yeah, but liquidity is for value, man. You guys misunderstood what I'm saying by that. I'm saying that if you're thinking about the aspect of minting is the only way for you to actually get more, well, you need the next person to get more
both
by minting.
both of them do.
Everyone, no, I don't hear any Zenians talking about staking because it actually doesn't bring
No,
them
because you
as
need
much
to
as minting
sell.
does.
When you were talking about the chain,
No, let's call a spade a spade. You're gonna stake your Zen instead of reminting.
no.
You can mint more.
Just
It's
hold,
free.
just hold it there, right? So don't.
Well, no, it's not just hold it
No,
there.
no.
It's like, why would you spend that gas transaction on 20% of what you acquired when you can actually pay a gas transaction and mint more
Yeah,
for free?
you have to pay.
You guys make no absolute sense
You,
as a community
no,
because
no.
you're probably not. No. You guys understand. Like, Jack understands what he's saying. He talks about something that he's trying to do, which is education.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to compare the true decentralization or the trustlessness of your coin to just minting. Okay, well, I give you 3 situations that I could fuck your minting up.
Bro,
You
like,
can't
why are you
fuck my.
speaking
You can't.
Why are you doing vulgar language? But continue, like,
Bruh, I could do what I want. Don't judge a man by his verbal actions. We're on the internet. We're on a metaverse.
you
What
know,
do I
the
owe
whole
you?
point is to educate
No,
people
I
in.
understand, sir. I understand, sir. But if you don't like my vulgar, you can fuck off.
No, but okay, bro, I ain't gonna fuck off in it. But I'm just hearing you. I'm
No,
thinking,
I
yo, is that a
understand. But if you
problem?
don't
But
like the vulgar,
continue
I
in
ain't
it.
gonna.
Continue, bro.
No,
Continue,
thank you,
continue.
sir. I understand. I'll be respectful, but vulgar language is good. It's healthy. We don't see each other talk. It's good to understand the emotion in certain things. I just don't like misinformation being
Emotional
spread. It's not.
investment doesn't
I would.
work.
If you want me to help your coin and actually give you my opinion on what's important, I did explain it. As a Zenian, you should provide liquidity to your fucking coin because that's what's really going to give it
Okay.
value. Because
Yes,
everyone has their head up their ass
I
for
agree.
value and not ratio trading. If you're only
I agree.
thinking about a ratio, then yes, think about the educational aspect. You can mint it for free. That's wonderful. But when you talk about value, where's your liquidity? You guys don't talk about liquidity. Most of your people are drooling for the free aspect. They don't even care about the staking aspect. They don't even care about the liquidity aspect. It shows in your liquidity because
Okay.
people are scared to lose their money. That's how
Okay.
I see it. Us in Hex, go look at our liquidity. 84 million fucking Hex was dumped, still at 3 cents.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot going on with Hex. So we'll go on the liquidity part. Yep.
Yeah.
So right now, if you looked at Hex in the beginning and Zen, they both were producing so much tokens or just so much numbers in a database or a server, right? They were both doing the same thing. And at those times, it seemed like a good idea to sell Hex to get some ETH, sell Hex to get USDC. But over time, we see how, you know, the deflationary aspect happens in the tokenomics. So it's then there's value and narratives created around Hex, around Zen that we're starting to see with NFTs. Right now, these NFTs are going to be 10,000 just tokens, essentially. So 10,000 market
But
supply cap.
it always comes down to your interaction with your contract and my interaction with our contract is completely different. If you want to compare the staking aspects, for sure.
Okay, we can go to the contract. We can go to, like I was saying, that's why we need to be inclusive, because if
But it's
you're
because you guys, excuse me, it's just because I don't, you guys flaunt you flaunt your activity with your contract as the minting. That's what you guys flaunt. You guys are flaunting right now that beautiful aspect where you could pay a transaction, interact with your contract, and mint more, right? We
Can I
flaunt
go in
that
on what
we
he
can.
said there?
Sorry.
yeah, but that's so
Can I go
that's
in
a
on what he
great
said
thing,
there?
because you can just play with the contract, get some more value that's rewarded, do some transactions, and sell it for.
So you'll
Hey,
notice one of the. Oh, go ahead, Trillian. Sorry.
no, I was gonna jump in after you Hex hang out because I'm gonna give you guys what Zen is actually like, and it'll
Yeah,
probably blow you away. So here, go ahead, Hex hang out. I'll go after.
sure. Back all the way up to King Daniel pointing out the shills and the talking points. The primary attack that Zen is using, you just heard it. When Hex launched, it had this behavior, and Zen had the exact same thing. And you know how it was. You wanted to buy Hex way back then. Oh, it'd be amazing. You can get that opportunity. Now with Zen, oh, it's the same. It's not the same. These are the talking points that they use. And when you go to Sheeb, you say Zen is like Sheeb. Ah, it's just the same. And this is part of a vampire attack, like specifically and exactly trying to pose like your victim. And you should come over to Zen. You should move.
I'm not saying move. I'm saying just experiment on test it and see the value yourself, and you see that. Hang on, I can actually get more hex real quick. Honestly, you'll if you look what's going on, you'll see. I don't want to. If you actually do the
So
calculations, you
then why wouldn't you
cannot
go on ETH?
lose.
Why wouldn't you go on ETH? That to me, you're not helping the cause of Zen by saying that, because then I would say, why don't you just go on ETH if you want to just play with something that's kind of valuable that you
No,
could
because
get
I'm
more
saying go
of?
on testnet and see it for yourself. You can do 400 days, 60 days, and in a bulk,
Oh,
as
on
in multiple.
testnet. Oh, I heard.
And
Why don't you go
then
test it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I
yes, and
misunderstood what you were
then
saying. Okay.
same with hex you could do on testnet, and then you can see the comparison, and you can see. Hang on, if I do a certain amount of days here, I get this much more ETH. I can put it into hex. I get this.
Okay, yeah, we know it's a great investment that's going to go to zero. What's up, Trillion?
All right, guys. So here's the problem that we've been trying to solve with crypto this entire time. We got something called the Federal Reserve, right? And what it disincentivizes is saving. What it incentivizes is spending. How come? Well, because all that money that you worked really hard for and you saved and you did whatever you had to do to get it, someone can just go get it for free. They could just print more. That's the problem with Zen, is that it actually reinforces this system that we know doesn't work. People will not go produce or go put real labor, effort, and time into things that someone else can just get for free. This is why the Federal Reserve System is broken right now. Hex does not allow you to do that. Nobody can just go get more for nothing or for. This is why people actually are more willing to put their energy, time, talents, whatever towards it to save and encapsulate that value in an asset that's not inflating. So unfortunately, with this dynamic, it's no different than the same broken Fed that we've always had. It doesn't take us further into the future with crypto. It's just not what it's doing. If you want to play, there's thousands of coins, there's test nets, go on and play. I'm not playing.
Not
Yeah,
true.
but it becomes deflationary over time? Like
Yes.
every year it decreases like 10%.
Yes.
Less coins, so
For you.
it does have like an
It
aspect
becomes
where
less infinitely deflationary, guys. How is it any different than what I just said about the Fed? Why would you
but
put
so is
real money
hex.
into it if you could just get it for free? Where do I get hex for free?
Hex is infinitely deflationary, and you have to pay to stake, and it
All of
costs
the
more for the longer you do it.
hex has been
With Zen,
pre-minted.
there's
I
no
can't
difference
mint.
in cost for the length.
How do I mint more hex for myself other than holding
Actually,
and
no,
staking hex?
and technically, both of your coins, okay, if the people stop using it, the actual utility, then none of you are inflationary. So I don't know what you guys are saying. Like, you guys have to always understand that, like, the inflation aspect. Once
Well, obviously, you understand that someone is going to use the
Right.
network. What's the whole point of any network? We
So
want
then, okay,
users on the
what
network.
is your deflationary aspect? If you're telling me that your coin is
The
deflationary
deflationary
because your
aspect,
inflation is being decreased,
the
that's not
deflation, yeah,
deflationary. How are
and
you
then
burning your coin?
because it's a rate. It's a rate of increase, isn't it? It's a rate of
But you,
increase, and the rate of increase becomes deflationary because it's decelerating.
No, it's becoming less inflationary.
yeah.
Deflationary means it's actually leaving supply.
Yeah, but
The
isn't that
supply
what
just
they do
increases slower.
in the Fed and things like?
No, but do you guys have a deflationary mechanism?
After 8 years, you will you will make only 10 Zen per day, something like that. Now
Okay,
you
so
take
Per what?
forever. So let's say
Yeah, but
but what's decreasing? If you're saying you could still, if I can mint 10 Zen every day, then it's not deflationary. I don't know what you guys
because look, if I did it this year,
No,
I got a
wait. Call
million
a
Zen.
spade mathematically. I don't care about opinions, okay, in game theory. If
I'm
you're saying
telling
that
you
you
the
every
difference,
day from
but you
now on
keep
until the
muting
day
me,
I die,
please.
but I don't give a shit.
So
The thing is that at the end of the day, if you're telling me that every day I can make 10 Zen, forget about millions, I can make 10 Zen every day, you are so wrong by saying your coin is deflationary. You just said it's inflationary. Jack, can you answer just my simple question? Is the mechanism in Zen ever deflationary, or is it a constant lowering inflationary mechanism? Because you said something about 8 years.
Yes. So two words on that. Number one, it's not deflationary, it's disinflationary.
Okay.
Disinflationary means that the rate of inflation is ever falling.
Are you guys planning on creating a deflationary mechanism?
Yes, it has a proof of burn mechanism built in the contract. ZenFTs is the first application to burn a lot of Zen. So it is actually possible we're going to burn 50% of the supply just with ZenFTs.
So are you building this and funding that development, and like you're bringing this to the community, or you're getting the community to sack and build it, or who's building it?
Is that like a real question? I guess you've been blocked by me, so you don't know. Yes, the answer is yes. I am building it, and I'm putting my money in it.
So anyone in the SEC in the room? That's a good note there. Zen has centralized development. He's putting his money there.
You're being ridiculous. This is an application of Top of Zen to use Zen's immutable nature.
Yeah, building the utility. I appreciate it.
Checkmate.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
can
anything
have.
else? Anything else you wanted to ask? I guess. I mean, I think I'm answering the question properly. So the proof of burn is immutable, exists in Zen. ZenFTs is a game on top of it that will burn Zen, and it will make it deflationary if it's successful. If nobody wants to play with it, then it's going to continue being disinflationary for the next 8 years. Now, Ethereum does not have a cap, but so far, Ethereum has become deflationary this year since merge. There's been less Ethereum printed that's been burned. So it's not really about the absolute numbers. It's about the mechanics of the contracts and the use of the network and the burn
Of course,
rate.
but it's just because your people were completely completely talking shit, and it's not helping your community. That's why I wanted your opinion, because it doesn't make sense what they were saying. But thank you for the
Okay, I mean,
clarification.
in any argument, we need to agree on the definitions of terms. Deflationary is a term, disinflationary is a term, and inflationary is a term. Based on certain situations, we're going to be experiencing all kinds of different aspects, including deflation. If Zen NFTs are successful and they burn a lot of Zen, then you will have less Zen available, and it's bullish for the value. So that's how the game is being designed.
Thank you. I just want to
I'd
make a
like to.
comment to the people in the chat. Just give me a second. If anyone's in the chat, in the comments, that doesn't like this, Hexican or Zenian, shove it up your fucking ass, okay? Two, there's people on the panel because I'm giving them an option to be there with us and argue with them. Not that there's just one person getting bombarded like the way we complain so much about. At the same time, too, it's a free country. It's free speech. You technically sacrifice for freedom of movement and freedom of speech. So if you don't like what I do, you can go fuck yourself. Go leave this chat. I don't give a fuck. I don't need you to make more money in Hex. I don't need you to make more Hex. I don't need you as a stupid Hexican that just want to bash his people. It's time to change. It's time to be real fucking Kryptonians. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And if you're a Zenian and you come up here talking trash, bro, I don't give a shit, man. I'm giving you guys an honest, real human availability to protect yourselves because one person is getting bombarded. So if anything, you should thank me because I'm actually being a good human being, okay? So if no one likes it, like I said, you can go fuck yourself. Thank you, guys. Continue the conversation.
I
And you
love this.
educate.
Thank you for saying that. Great.
It is up to the founder to clearly educate their community, and saying something like, is it inflationary or is it disinflationary? Whatever. It's confusing to people. So you might want to say Zen is inflationary instead of it is disinflationary.
I will have to say what it is, and it is disinflationary. In the definition of disinflation means that the inflation rate is slowing down over time. That's what it means,
Sure.
and that's what the terms are on Wikipedia, what disinflation means.
Apparently, some people have some understanding to come to in your community.
Yeah, I can admit I made a mistake. You know, I was trying to rush forward in my explanation. Obviously, the space is quite passionate right now.
Deflation comes from the proof of burn mechanism. It exists within the contract. You can look up the code, and there is a function to burn it. And we're going to be burning it with NFTs as soon as they come out. So that will make it deflationary if it's successful. If nobody cares, then it will continue to be inflationary with the disinflationary aspect.
Jack, could I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
It's kind of a hypothetical question. So, say for example that the Zen protocol is active and a user has a wallet and they always mint for the max term. Is it possible for them to earn like less than their gas fee?
The gas fee is irrelevant. Depending on the term, there's no difference with the gas.
Mr. Jack, is there a tentative date for Zen NFTs?
3 weeks from now.
So here's what this all boils down to is you need to incentivize spending. This is just like how the Fed works. This is the thing. So you can put out NFTs, you can put out all these products. Here's my question. How do you expect to run this operation, the development, your time, all this other stuff around it, marketing it? How could you ever run this at a profit? Because I'll tell you what, plenty of projects have tried to do what you're doing and they've all gone under. So where do you get the capital to continue developing on top of Zen?
I don't need the capital.
So you're just going to sink your own personal money into it. So why don't you just take 80% of your Zen and burn it? Help everybody else.
I don't have any Zen to burn.
I probably have more Zen than Jack does right now.
Okay. But do you understand my point? You have to somehow incentivize spending. In order to
No,
incentivize
I mean,
spending,
you're asking a personal question, and to
it's not
answer from,
personalized. No, for your chain, right? Because it's
I don't have a chain.
inflationary.
There's no chain.
All right, Jack, come on. Like, what do
No,
you?
you have to be clear. If you want a clear answer, you have to have a clear question.
Okay, inflation. It works this coin works just like printing US dollars works with the Fed. People don't work for them because they can easily just go get more for free, right? Because they can just print as much as they want. Same dynamic in Zen. What does it incentivize in the economy? It incentivizes spending and it punishes those who save. Same thing in Zen. You're incentivized to continue participating. You're incentivized to spend it because the next person who comes after you keeps minting it, dilutes your supply, right?
When you
So
say
that's
this,
what
when you say
have
the
to
same, you're
you
being
have to give people
incorrect.
something to spend it on. What do you mean this? How's it not?
You're saying it is the same as Federal Reserve. You are incorrect. Federal Reserve is a central authority that can print the dollars however
Okay,
they please.
the Zen contract can print more Zen just based on demand. I know I'm
Zen,
not saying this is perfect one-to-one. I'm not calling it a government or a private, whatever the fuck the Fed is anyway. I'm not saying it's the Federal Reserve. I'm just saying the dynamic's the same. People can go get it for free, right? These financial institutions get it for free, and in effect punishes savers and rewards spenders. It's the same thing with Zen. That's why you have to give people something they can use the Zen for, right? You have to get them to spend it to get value out of it quickly. That's what you're doing with the NFTs. And what I'm saying is that if you're not getting capital to do any of this development, any of this work, you're not benefiting from Zen in any way because you don't even have any. Why are you continuing just to sink money into it? Like you just, I hear, because here's the dissonance, man. You seem like a smart guy. Smart
Love of the
people
game.
don't throw money away.
Is that a personal question to me? Because I can answer it, but you need to be clear.
It's because here's the thing is if I don't understand somebody's angle, I don't trust them because there's always an angle. And that's what I'm trying to ask is like, at what point, why is this worth it for you to do? I do not believe that you just want everybody to play with crypto. I don't buy it, dude. I don't get your angle.
Let me bring you an analogy that is not even, I mean, it's a well understood analogy. It is a fact. Elon Musk sold X.com, PayPal.com, made $300 million. That was his net worth. He spent all of it on Tesla and all of it on SpaceX, all of it. And he was actually staying at Larry Page's house because he didn't have money.
So you want someone to buy Zen from you?
It wasn't worth. No, I don't have Zen to sell.
You want someone to buy the project from you, or you want to leverage the project to make you wealthy? Would be the synonym.
No, because I don't own the project. The project is open source on blockchain. I don't own the code. It's open source.
Elon owned PayPal. That's how he was able to sell it to someone else to get money for a new venture.
Well,
no.
PayPal was sold.
Can I cut in? Can I cut in?
Famous has his hand up, guys. Sorry, we need hands because we're too many.
This is at the end. This is after the 8 years is up. Where is that value going to come from after that 8 years is up and no one's able to mint Zen anymore? Is that where you're talking about? There's going to be a lot more value once that happens?
I think there's value even the early years. It really all depends on the use cases. And people are invited to build on top of the ecosystem. So like right now, Popcorn Network has built the staking protocol for Zen. So that's one of a kind, the first time. ZenFTs is another application on top of it that will bring value by burning Zen. So there will be lots of opportunities to build a lot of interesting things. And if a lot of people hold Zen in their wallets, then they'll be able to participate in those new things that will be developed. That's where the value comes from.
We've just heard this so many times. I'm sorry, Jack, but literally you and 1,000 other people have come across saying exactly this. All these things will happen. People will develop, and 99.9% of that never happened.
I fine. It is my personal belief believe. You don't have to believe me. I mean, you don't even understand why I spend my money. So, like, I
No,
don't
I don't
expect you.
understand your angle. I just don't understand, where do you get value? Like, where does it pay off for you? Like, why did you do all of this stuff? Like, you
It's
guys spent months developing contracts. Like, I know Zen wasn't worked on nearly as much, but you guys put a ton of time into this. That developer's not free. And I just never believe someone who puts money out for nothing in return. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
okay. Well, can we agree that this is your personal belief? Your disbelief is your personal belief.
Yeah,
But
but a lot of people share that, you know? It's like, if you
okay,
can't
so
understand why somebody is trying to sell you something, or why they're involved, you should always question
Trillion,
that.
you're putting your permission slip reality upon someone else. It's not your, those are all your biases.
Yeah. And
It's a
another thing,
question of a founder, but
look at how almost broke Tesla was when they were putting all that money into Tesla, and how many times they just literally came close to bankruptcy. And now what's the stock trading at right now? I mean, there's a point in time when everything turns around one way or another. It either goes and crashes or it goes up.
Wait, Donald, to be fair, the goal was always to be profitable. That's what I'm trying to get out of Jack. Is like, when does this become profitable for you?
that
It's
is
not
not the
like they
goal.
enjoyed.
Why do you think it's the goal?
No,
It's not my personal goal.
Tesla's goal wasn't to fucking become profitable. He was just wanting to put electric cars on the road. He literally
No,
has said that many times.
nope,
No, he's said that many times, that he
no.
wanted to put electric cars. He wanted to electrify and put electric cars on the road. And he said that he hadn't seen any other people doing it.
You guys know
Some
what the
people
real,
some people just love the game. I
you
really
know,
think that's
okay.
one of
Guys,
the
we have
things.
hands up, please. Famous. You have a hand up.
So in the end,
No, not you, Owl. Famous.
Hey there. Доброе утро. Привет, Vanya.
Привет.
Как дела?
Добрый день.
So what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to ask you about volatility. I am interested in your view on, what you think longer term will happen to the vol of this. Obviously, you're talking about disinflation, which pricked my ears up. But right now it seems like it's in a high inflation period, and the volatility is quite high. But do you suspect, kind of over medium and longer term, that will become significantly less volatile than most other crypto assets,
I think
or would you expect that to remain elevated?
I think volatility is a function of liquidity size. The more liquidity you have, the less volatility things will be experienced, unless it's like a stable coin. So my projection is that should there be a ginormous pool of liquidity, the volatility will be a lot less. And of course, that this project not being essentially controlled by anyone will make it more fair in terms of people wanting to buy it or sell it or trade it or whatnot. I mean, like, for example, I could disappear and nothing will happen to this contract. It will still continue to work. I mean, I may not be. My point is that I'll have, as the future approaches, I'll have less and less influence on the reality of the economic outcome.
Yeah, and then what about relative to other crypto? Do you think?
My goal and my wish is to be in top 3. If I can eclipse all of them, then I'll have or when I say I mean the project, will have the biggest liquidity. That will make it the most stable, economically sustainable project.
Well, what do you care? You don't have any.
I have goals. I don't care for the monetary value, but I have personal goals.
Yeah, that guy who's picking on you, Jack. Like, dude, your takes are really silly, in my opinion. It's like the guy has money. He doesn't. He can afford a few developers. Like, fuck, I didn't found like a big
Don't
fucking
be so
company in
naive.
Silicon Valley, and I've got developers.
You're being naive.
Like, no, I'm not being naive. I'm one of the most capitalistic people you'll ever meet. Like, I think you need to understand
Then you're being insincere.
No, you're
If
just
you're
being rude.
if you're a capitalist,
No,
I'm not being rude. This
being-
literally, this is a Warren Buffett quote. He says, if you don't understand where the money comes from,
Respect the
don't
game,
invest
dude.
in it.
I don't think
Do
you
you
understand
respect
the
the
mail.
game? You don't know
No,
who
you're
the fuck
interrupting.
you're talking to.
Well, these people know who I'm talking
You're
to.
right, I don't.
Okay. Well, you sound like a petulant child. Guess what, dude? Lots of people make lots of money, and then guess what they want to do? They want glory.
Wreck
They have
everybody,
ego.
rug pull all their older. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I don't think you're arguing in good faith, sir. I don't know. Like,
Hey, I have a
you
question.
disappoint me.
I have a question with regard.
Donald, Owl had her hand up very patiently, and then it's Hex Hangout. Just put up your hand so you could be next, man. Please, we have to continue with this. Is there professionalism in this chat at this point, since we're a lot of people listening? You know what I mean? Thanks, Donald. I appreciate it. You know I'd let you talk anytime, but now we just got to be a bit more organized. So, Owl, you're next.
So the value proposition of Zen is adoption. So once it's free, that's why it's free. You can mint it for free. And then once it's in the hands of everyone, then the value is there because the people are the value. And if you heard Richard Held talking many times, you will also know about Metcalfe's law, and you will know that the value of the network is the people. So it will come by itself. Well, because when everyone has a token in their hands, then where the people go to buy things, to those that have the token, they will go to them. They won't go to some centralized coin. They will go to the people that have the token. This is what Elon Musk is doing with Doge, and you can say whatever you want about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is in many hands, and there are many marketplaces, and it's developing. So the value proposition of Zen is adoption, and it's not about the value in dollars. The value proposition, the goal is to not have the value in dollars. It's not have it in fiat. That's all.
Everybody got some rice at home?
I'm confused. I don't know how that's decentralized. I don't know how
Everybody-
that's trustless.
It's decentralized because you can mint it. Everyone can mint it for free. It will be in
Yeah, but your
the
value
hands of
proposition
everyone.
is adoption.
So right now it's 8 years of distribution, and at the end of 8 years you will mint almost nothing, because then Zen will be nothing, and you have time now to get your coins, and after whatever will be minted will be there.
But why are you so focused on minting when you should be focusing on liquidity? It's like you guys
have
it backwards.
I'm not focused on liquidity, because if I can get it for free, why should I buy it?
But you're not getting it for free. You're paying a transaction for it.
Everyone pays transaction on Ethereum.
Yeah, well, that's included in your costs. What do you mean? It's included in an expense, so it's not free. It's not like you're going. You know what was free? Nothing. Nothing in crypto was free. Even my Doge that I fauceted, I had to have a computer on, paying the electricity. I had to have
the go to Phantom, go to Dogechain, go to
Bro,
one
I've
of
been
the
in it.
10
I've created
chains
it. What do you
and
mean?
mint almost for free.
Almost for free. It's not free. You still need to do something. You still need to pay for the internet to get on it. You still need to pay for the electricity.
Well, you also had to pay for Bitcoin to mine it.
Of course,
you
that's what
need
I said.
to
I
pay
never
for
said otherwise.
you need to pay your abonnement to talk
yeah, but don't
here.
Say it's free. You just sound like you're not right.
Your messages are free when you speak, but you still need to
you
pay
have to waste your breath.
the internet.
You have to think. No, it's not free.
Guys, let's define what free is. In this particular case, free means that you're not buying it from another person for dollars. Your dupe have to spend time, energy, attention, gas fees. You do need to do that, but in relation to other crypto, that is, you have to buy from someone else, then has no cost. That is what the definition of free is. But it is relative. It's relative to other crypto. But clearly, it's not free, because even if the gas was free, then your electricity and your rent and your attention would not be free anyway. So it's all relative.
Yeah, obviously Jack is very good at being very specific and technically correct, but practically lying. Up to what you said, Busy. Could you mint Zen and it be worth less than your gas cost that you spent because you paid money to mint your Zen? Could that happen? What Jack said was not a lie. It was obfuscation of the truth that danced around. Yes, absolutely. Your Zen could be worth way less than the gas that you paid for the Zen. And that is absolutely a possibility. And Jack dodged it and did not lie, but he dances with specific words that disinflationary, which is also inflation.
He asked me, well, he responded and said gas fee isn't related to that question. I worded my question poorly.
No, you had a great question. Could
No,
your gas fee cost you more
you've
than your
given
Zen?
misinformation
Yes.
on his answer, on the answer he gave me. You've actually changed what he said.
Hex Hangout. So let's say, for example, you have like you're selling bananas and I'm selling mangoes. I can list that price for whatever I want for my mangoes. Just because someone's selling mangoes for $1 down the street doesn't mean I can't sell my mangoes for $100 each. And if someone's willing to pay for that, that's their choice. So,
Yeah, and
and
the
we're
price
still
is
we're still
zero,
so
guys.
early to it for liquidity. I know you guys are talking about liquidity. I think we're still so early to the game because people are still, technically virtually mining it, waiting for their mints to end, and then they might dump it, and that the price might go lower, which is also why probably shouldn't buy it. You should just do it yourself, mint it yourself.
That is an awesome shill pitch yet again for the 10th time in this hex space. Next
Listen to
hand.
this shit. Listen to this shit. Jack is giving away free tickets to the cinema. How you
They're
get
not
there is
free. Stop saying
your
that. If
how
you
you
guys
get
just kept
there
the
is
if you guys kept the $1 million of Ethereum that you spent on gas fees within a week, it would have been worth 1.3 million a week ago. You guys, it's not free. You're losing time value. You're losing the opportunity to capitalize on assets that people actually care about. You took away that Ethereum that would have been worth 30% more for a coin that went down 95%. What are you, a hero? Stop. This is not the right room for
Zen's
that.
making
We get it.
Ethereum more valuable. It's making it deflationary. So the first
Okay,
time
well,
since the
Ethereum's
merge, I
down
don't know if anyone's
1,100.
looking at that.
Hex
Oh
Hangout.
yeah, it
Can you
worked really
stop
well.
muting me? Because
Can you
Trillion
stop
speaking
interrupting
to
people? Next hand. What's up?
I saw a video of Jack online, and he did say he's created something where you can't lose money. Jack, do you recall that video? Or you saying that? And could you explain that a bit further?
Yes, I did make such statement, and that statement has been based on the fact that you do not need to buy Zen to make it for yourself. Now, I will say technically, Hex Hangout is trying to, I guess, call me a liar or a truth obfuscator, but I don't have anything to worry about because I think I always speak the truth. I have no reason to lie because I have no economic incentive to win one way or the other. What I will say is that due to the dynamic nature of gas fees, the Zen that you mint may be less than the gas you spent. That is the name of the game. It's never been any situation other than that. I have never said or stated or guaranteed or obfuscated saying that you will spend less gas than the value of Zen will be. And that's why I really don't want to talk about Zen's value. When people ask me when Moon, when Lambo, I say wait until 18 zeros, kind of like make a joke. So when I made a statement that Zen is the cryptocurrency you can't lose money on, the idea there was that you'll have to trade with another person to pay for Zen. You have an option to do it if you want to. But if you agree to pay the gas fees on one chain or the other, it comes to you at no cost, assuming you pay the gas fee.
I've never come across a crypto founder that doesn't own any of his own tokens. That's something new. I mean, either you already dumped it all and you sold it, you got your money out, whatever. But this is
That's
that
why
raises a lot of
Hex would be
questions.
more valuable. Would be more valuable if the
Satoshi.
origin address wasn't there.
Oh, you know more
And
about
that
crypto
would
than Richard Hart.
be almost.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you know more about crypto than Richard Hart. Yep.
No, I definitely don't. I don't. But at the same time, when you're unleashing something in the wild and you don't own any of it and you're just letting it happen, then you don't have to worry about being.
It means you don't believe in it, dude. Come on. If I told you buy this, I've never used it. I would never buy it myself. But you should buy it. Like, does that sound convincing to you?
Well, when you can potentially be rugged at any time, because the origin address.
You could get rugged on a
just
stable coin. You guys are this parade of imaginary horribles. We got to move on from that. Uvex, sorry, brother. Go ahead, man.
Yep, I have a really important point to make about
Go ahead,
value.
Donald.
Yeah, thank you. The value when Facebook, for example, started, it started with very few people. It was just like a chain reaction because, people like this idea of, you tell two people, and then it just grew exponentially until there's now 2.9 billion users. And there is, in fact, Mark Zuckerberg spent a lot of money and he spent other people's money, obviously. He had investors. He put a lot of money into servers and using all of these servers from all over the different locations where it was going. He spent a lot of money, and there was a point in time when somebody came up and said, "Hey, when are you going to start making money? You know, this thing is in this is we're in negative. We're in the red, man. When are you going to start making money by selling ads?" And he kept refusing and refusing and refusing. And that was at the point in time when he was building Facebook. That was just the exponential growth. And if you look at this could possibly, we don't even know how cryptocurrencies and NFTs and stuff will evolve in the next 5 to 10 years. So for a person
Donald, that's not it, man.
put
Facebook
limitations
raised
on it and look at the value of it right now.
Donald, you're skipping so many steps, man. Facebook raised $200 million in Series D funding, 120 million. They had a private equity round of $1.5 billion. Do you think all
And
those
they
people
let
sat
everybody
in a
use it
room?
for free.
Hold on, Donald. Okay.
They let everybody use it for free.
You don't think any of those investors wanted their money back with interest? That was
Of
the
course
idea
they
the
did.
entire time, that they said
Of
we have
course
a
they did.
way to use this platform to make more money than what you're investing into us. That's what I'm saying. It's not a zero-sum game. Nobody
There was
did
a
it so
growth
that
factor,
people can use
and then
Facebook
there was
for
an
free.
earnings factor. Now Facebook is worth what? What's Facebook trading at now?
It's not even called Facebook anymore, Donald.
Whatever. Call it fucking whatever you want.
So is Uvex up here? Okay, he'll pop back up. Anyways, let's go back to the items Zen is trying to say. They're just like Tesla. They're just like Facebook. Obviously, that is a obfuscation of the truth, not specifically a lie. Jack said, you can't lose money on this. He very specifically worded it. And obviously, that's not a lie. That's an obfuscation of the truth that is untrue. You absolutely can lose a boatload of money. This can go down. It can implode logarithmically as the worst performing asset of all time. And I would specifically say to Jack's assertion that he does not own Zen, I bet it's again an obfuscation of the truth. Does he have a partnership in an LLC? Does he fund production that owns Zen? It's not a lie, but it's not specifically the truth either. What's up, Uvex?
Oh, hey, this is Uvex. I only have a 75 IQ, so bear with me here. When Zen came out, or when it was developing, I saw people like, Trevon and Simple and all those guys start looking like they were hexagons and then promoting the heck out of it. And I couldn't really figure out what the point of free mining tokens like that would do. So I talked to my friends who are, were Ethereum miners and are now validators. And I was like, what the hell is this going to do? And they're like, well, shit, it's going to make us rich. So that kind of brought the question in my head. It was like, the founder, Jack, he's been with Google since the beginning. He's always been running servers. I was just wondering, Jack, are you running a bunch of nodes, and do you benefit from the ridiculous amounts of gas that you incur on users?
The answer is no and no.
You're not going to
Well,
get
that's
them
good because
to
like
admit
my buddies
owning
would just
anything.
like to thank you for what you're doing for Ethereum gas. They're rocking it now.
Well, I think Vitalik should send me a thank you note at least.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he loves you too.
How long did you work at Google there, Jack? Back 20 something years ago, right?
99 until
what was that? How many years did you work at Google?
6 years.
20 years ago you had a job. Congratulations. What's up, Simple?
So maybe this question is for you, Hex Hangout, since you're a pretty smart guy there. What's the difference between 0 and 1, like percentage wise?
It depends on the context there. If it's binary, then it's a simple 1-digit flip. If it's a percentage value, so everything is contextual, and that is how Jack is able to be specific without lying.
Okay, so Jack, what's the difference between 0 and 1, like percentage wise?
Infinity.
What about in binary?
Yeah, in binary maybe, Jack. Yeah, but percentage wise,
percentage-wise,
like infinity. I guess that's the question, right? So
what's the difference between 0 and
for Zen? You are not getting Zen for 0. If you did, you would sign an off-change contract that would not cost you gas. So indeed, you do pay for Zen. It is not free. Zen is not given to you at a cost of 0.
I didn't say that, Hex Hangout. I didn't say
You have a few times today, but okay, go on.
You're paying for the transaction to happen on whatever chain you're doing. But I guess just something that doesn't have value, so to speak, or still in its value searching. I mean, from zero to one, it's infinite percentage. So
Zero
I don't know.
zero to 0.1 is also infinity, man.
Yeah,
Zero to
you're right.
0.0001 is also infinity. Like, it's just when you make the denominator zero, it's always infinity. So I'm not sure where you were going with that.
Well, I find it extremely interesting that it's been 40 days and everybody's obsessed with charts. Those data points on the chart don't mean anything. It's just people are getting together and trading digital assets, and they're calling this and that. I mean, it's the trend of 40 days means nothing. I'm actually surprised that Zen has any value, given that everybody's like, or at least, I mean, Hex Hangout here says it's not free, and yet it shouldn't have any value. I think it shouldn't. It has some value apparently to some people because people like to play. I mean, it is what it is. But looking at the chart is really not the right way to make the judgment call. I mean, if we look at Bitcoin chart, we look at Hex chart, they all look the same. They all look like a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of crap, and it's nothing. So why worry about the chart? I mean, if
Jack,
yeah.
nah, sorry, man. No, the chart is the most important data that you could get. You can't say that it's bullshit. It's the dynamics. That's what I'm telling you. It's the dynamics of the
Okay,
coin you
fine.
set up that
Let's
cause
make.
a hyperbola
I'm
down.
sorry. Let's make this thought experiment right now. Let's say that this chart exists for a single day, 24 hours, and then it doesn't exist. Doesn't matter.
What is the chart? The chart is the reflection of all the traded prices, is it not?
Okay.
So
Okay.
if it
One
wasn't on a
trade.
chart and I had a list of trades, well, because you got to figure out what's the price of it, right? You could have a table, you don't have to do a chart. But I
Okay.
see that the
Okay.
price at this date compared to this date, it's just visually
What does chart consists of?
trades.
What if it was a single trade?
Is there any liquidity backing another trade? Because charts often indicate that there is a relative price around the last trade. However, if you make a garbage coin with no liquidity, then a trade, I agree with you, is meaningless like your coin.
Right now, there is barely any liquidity. The chart doesn't matter. If there was one trade, and actually the first trade of Zen was $1.50, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it was $1.50. It just means at the time, two people agreed to exchange digital asset for $1.50 per coin. It's
You
subject
could
to
do that
liquidity.
right now. You could go and buy it for $10 off of someone and buy one Zen. But you're, again, not lying. You're obfuscating the truth, saying that charts under this very specific circumstance has no legitimacy, which you are cherry picking. And as we all know in this room, price and economic mass and charts has a meaning, or else. Do you
I
really believe the stuff you're saying, Jack?
I am
Do you buy
describing the
stock
I'm
and not
describing the facts.
believe it has value?
I'm describing facts the way I see them. There's no reason to
You're
obfuscate the truth.
crafting reality to match a narrative that you're selling to podunks that don't understand no better.
I don't know exactly how else to explain it. If there's no liquidity, which is now there is no liquidity, the chart doesn't matter. And I never actually tell people to look at the chart because it doesn't represent anything that's worth looking at.
So let's not look at charts. Let's just guess prices. Jack,
No,
you're
For this
I,
crazy,
particular
man.
project.
I'm
Okay.
saying Zen's chart is garbage.
But why don't you want to make a crypto with a real chart? That's what I don't get, Jack. You have all the capabilities. You have all the intention. Like, why not just put up a good chart?
Listen, you do not even understand my motivations. Why? How can I
But that's
answer
what
that?
makes me not trust you along with everybody else,
Okay,
Jack.
and
That's what we're trying to get
why do you
to.
think I need you to trust me? I do not need you to trust me.
It's
If
not just me, Jack. Don't make this personal because I'm here trying to help and trying to actually have we're having a good conversation, man. I'm not against you. I think we've been very cordial and nice to each other. I'm not. All I'm saying is that look, from an outside perspective, is you go talk to a billionaire, they're gonna want to know where the money's coming from. They're gonna want to know what these people are
Depends
involved,
on their
who's
It
involved.
depends on their motive. It depends on their motive.
Okay, but look, you guys want to go play video games? You don't need crypto for this. You can
It
just go
depends on how you measure your metrics, right? So there are many ways
remember
of measuring
World
your
of
metric.
Warcraft? Remember World of Warcraft? That gold in that game acquired intrinsic value over time, and it was just the game. It had nothing to do with crypto at all. That's what I'm saying is that yes, things can acquire intrinsic value. It does not have to be crypto. If you guys want to play games, make games. But if you're talking about investments, if you're talking about store of value, that's the purpose of crypto. Otherwise, it's no different than any other centralized database that even a video game at Blizzard or Blizzard uses. What's
So
the differentiation then?
so you clearly have an opinion of how things should be. I have my own
How
opinion. I mean about
Okay,
crypto.
what do you think my opinion? Where do you think I deviate? Like what do you think that I said about, having crypto versus just a standard database that I'm sure you're all too familiar with? Where was I wrong there?
I'm not really going to tell you where you're wrong, because in your own
Where's the
reality,
delta between you and Trillion, to be specific?
in,
What
in,
is the difference between your views?
in your own reality, you're right. You can do whatever you want to do, but whether anything I chose to do, whether it's right or wrong, it is my choice.
That's a good
So
way to dodge the question. What is the difference between what Trillion expressed as his view and your view personally? What's the difference between them?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Well, look, crypto stands for something, right? Like, okay, what does crypto mean to you? Maybe you think it's a game. I don't think it's a game.
To me, crypto is probably the best designed world people's connector ever been created. That's what crypto to me.
But it's not connecting people. Twitter's connecting people. It's doing something else, right? It's not just connecting people. You can't
I'm
call
not.
your grandma.
I'm not saying just. I'm saying for me, the way that I see it, crypto has no borders. You can connect to people over crypto, whether it's a game, whether it's free, whether it's not, whether it carries economic energy. There is a connection there. It is runs over internet. Internet connects everybody. Nobody can stop it. So it is probably the best thing invented that connects everyone together. That is what it is to me.
But it connects everyone together how? Spiritually, emotionally, monetarily. There's different connections, are there not?
It's a social construct, social connection. So we want to play a game together, and let's say that we wanted to play poker or blackjack. We can use crypto to play it.
So you're going
Because
to tell me the Bank of England is just there to connect people.
no, I'm not talking about banks. I'm talking about crypto.
Okay, but crypto has value. It's been a store of value. That's what Bitcoin. If you guys keep comparing it to Bitcoin, Bitcoin's a store of value. It's so that you had the freedom to transact without using a centralized entity. That was the whole point. So I'm at this point totally lost as to what what you even think crypto is.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess I'm not explaining it properly. I mean,
You
what?
think it's a silly game, but Jack, this shit's all serious, man. Oh, let's let somebody else step in here. Go ahead, guys. Whoever's got their hand up.
That would be famous.
Yeah, so I guess I'll say a couple things really quickly. So first of all, for those of you that were with Hex at the beginning, it dropped 98% in the first 30 days, and there were a lot of people that were attacking Richard, antagonizing him in that period. It was not pretty, and it's interesting to kind of hear a lot of people attack Jack for the same reason, and we all know how that turned out with Hex. Which isn't to say that it's going to turn out like that with Zen necessarily, but I just thought I'd point that out. To me, I put a thing in the nest there. On October 10th, I said I bought Hex today. I didn't buy Zen. I project Zen will dump in price for months. I think we're a month away from that, and that's exactly what it's done. I think it's down, like probably 90% since I put that tweet in there. I don't think anybody who thought about it too much is that surprised. It's in a massive hyperinflationary period. It's an experiment. I don't know why you guys are so caught up about its value or its price currently. It's very early days. It's an experiment. We don't know what it means yet. It's not something that's investable, in my opinion. It's something I would short if I were going to invest in it. It would be through a short. But I think that's okay as well. Like, I think we just have to be a little bit intellectually honest with each other, and if it's something you want to spend time on, like, its value or its price chart right now is sort of irrelevant. He's trying to do something different and novel with crypto, and trying to understand if that longer term or medium term can be useful is probably the question that you want to ask yourself, and that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around still. Which is why I was asking about the volatility longer term relative to other cryptocurrencies, which maybe have a different mechanism for inflation. But yeah, I think trying to wrap your head around, does this thing have a medium or long term, use case or value, or how does it change? It's probably the more important question to get around than, hey Jack, you asshole, the price has gone down, fuck you. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me why you guys would even care. Like, the guy, if you look at it, it's very obvious that this thing has to go down in price for a while, right? And reading between the lines, he's even saying it himself, saying 18 zeros for his place, right?
So we
Yeah.
specifically
Well,
care because he's targeting Hex. He's using the talking points that you have in this chat right now, and that's very valid. And we care because outside of the Hex community, I ask my friends if they are watching Zen, and they're like, what the fuck's Zen? Like, we specifically are being marketed to it. And we are being pitched with it's zero, it's free, it's going to go down infinitely, and then it'll be infinitely valuable. It's going to connect the world by a gamer that doesn't give a shit about crypto. Like, we care because we're being marketed to, and it's a vampire attack that we're forced to care, like, unfortunately.
yeah, but I mean, I care, but I'm not buying it. Like, you know what I mean?
No one
Like,
is. That's why it's going to zero. It's the worst performing asset. You can throw it on log,
yeah.
and
Well, but I think that's intentional. That's the thing. You know what I mean?
And coins
That's
get delisted all the time. You guys, it's on all these exchanges. You think it'll stay there? If the coins get
well,
delisted, what we're trying to
once you
figure
get
out.
enough zeros, it'll be hard to have it on any exchange, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. But
So
look,
why do you think Zen is on so many exchanges? Why they jump on Zen
because
and they
it's
list
that
it
hard to get.
straight away?
That's an easy question for you. It's because it's a very good way for those exchanges to make money. CeFi exchanges are absolutely fucking evil. Okay, these guys are faceless guys that are in third world countries or wherever, and they just look at how they can rip off their users. So they get a coin that they know that they can mint and offload to their users, and make a bundle of cash off of it. That's what they're gonna do, right? So CeFi guys are complete animals, right? Do not trust these guys, right?
So why they don't just list all the tokens? Why they didn't list Hex?
They do. They
Good
just take
question.
them down. Hex is listed, you guys. Go on BitGet. It's listed. They list a bunch of shit. They see if there's any customer appetite for it, then they delist it. It happens
Exactly.
all the time, every day.
There's not a lot of profit motive for something that's been around for a while, like Hex, that doesn't trade that much, but something that's new and shiny and that they can front run their clients on, and then get them to basically overpay for. There's a lot of appetite for that from these guys, but and as he said, they will eventually probably delist it.
Did you just said that Hex is not traded? Isn't it the fifth on Uniswap or something?
On CEXs, there's very little volume, because you stake it, right? If you look at the Pulsechain or whatever, it's very small volume, right?
Talk to some of the projects that tried to get listed by Sam on FTX. What happened there? He'd give them terms. They'd have to shell out a whole bunch of tokens for him. He front ran them, literally selling counterfeit editions of their coins, and pounded these projects out of existence when these people put in years and tens of millions of dollars into these projects.
What's interesting is that the only way these exchanges are able to get the coins are through the community that have minted them. Jack's not selling them to the exchange.
Maybe he already did. Maybe that's why he doesn't have any. It's the thing, Jack. I'm not trying to attack you, man. I'm just trying to actually get to know you and your intentions, because they're extremely unclear.
Okay, so what's the question? Did I have Zen and did I sell it to the exchange?
Why would he? Honestly, it doesn't make any sense.
To get a listing?
The exchange can get this stuff themselves. They build a bot themselves to get
it. Yeah, no one's saying that.
Yeah, why on earth would Jack fucking bother to do it?
Why would Jack just couldn't understand the conversation, so he said that. That was not the question. He just wasn't following along. What's up, King Daniel?
Yeah, I just have a question for Jack. Do you have Hex, or do you stake or anything? Do you have anything to do with the ecosystem?
I have Hex.
Okay, good. So, my other question is, if you have Hex, why were you shitting on Richard Hat? When you came into the community, we showed love for you, we accepted you, but you turned around. That's just what I want to clarify. I don't think anybody here really hates Zen and stuff like that. But if you continue with your game plan, it's going to cause a lot of resentment. I think a lot of people here are speaking out of resentment. That's my opinion, though. So I think that game should change. If you hurt somebody or if you do something against somebody, I think you be a man and just render an apology. So until you do that, I won't be really happy with your project. I'll look at you as a calm person, you know. So you should apologize to Richard Hart and the community. We are very free
What should I apologize to Richard Hart for? Can you tell me?
for talking shit after you release Zen.
And if I told you I never talked shit about Richard Hart, would you believe me?
Okay. So what did you say about him? Can you tell us, please?
No, I mean you're bringing in some grievances, so it's up to you to tell me what I
No,
said that
I'm not.
that I
I'm
would
not bringing.
apologize for.
I'm not bringing any grievances. I'm just saying. You know what you said, talking about
I know
Hex
I know
being.
what I didn't say. I know what I didn't
So
say.
what did you say that you think offended the Hex community?
There's nothing comes to mind that to me that
Well,
feels offensive.
how about that tweet when you were saying how you got more followers than Richard Hart, but he's nice.
I also told him to blow up his Lambo. I mean, is that hating on Richard?
You completely spun it. Look, Jack,
Just
we know it's
playing.
stupid, man. No, but really, dude, like Richard's done a lot, and he's really put his neck on the line for all
Oh,
of this, and he puts his
okay,
money where
that's
his mouth
fine. That's
is.
fine. But listen, I mean, like, you know how there was just 10 minutes ago somebody was saying I can talk, I can swear and I can say whatever the hell I want. So Richard and I had a conversation. I told him to blow up his Lambo. It doesn't mean I disrespect him.
That's not what we're talking about, though. We were talking about after Zen launch, dude. We heard those telegrams. We know, man.
Be
That's the thing.
specific. Be
All right.
specific.
Do you respect Richard Hart?
I absolutely do.
Okay. Why?
Because he's one of the smartest people I know.
So when you
Please,
talk
Jack,
shit,
let him send out a tweet with what he just said. Please send out a tweet. I respect Richard has views. I think he's the not. I think I believe he's the best man in crypto. He's been right from the one. Nobody has a right to shit on him. Can you please send out that tweet? And I will say Jack Levin is the man. He's a man of his word. I believe in his project, and now we accept you as part of the community. Because the thing you don't understand is that we don't hate you guys. We don't hate Zen. It was what you did that caused the resentment. In my opinion, I felt bad. I was like, dude, I like this guy. You spoke about longevity. You spoke about, taking, I think you spoke about metformin and taking some other stuff to make you feel a better person, to make you be a better person health-wise. But I listened to all the stuff. I loved you from the one. But when you turned around after you launched your coin, I was like, dude, this guy, I mean, you can't show love to somebody and turn around and he backstab you. It's like a vampire attack, You made us like kind of feel you're part of us. We have a lot of people in this community that have come out with coin. Everybody has their own point of views, but they still accept it. I mean, we got famous that Ayo here. Like, he has his own project going on. We all still respect him. We all still talk together. So you can still be part of the family, but you shouldn't be that guy that will shit where he eats. It's bad. That's all I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, and I have said it many times that I have never disrespected Richard in any way.
Send out that tweet, please. I will really appreciate you if you can do that because you've opened.
Check my Twitter feed. This is the easiest thing for me to do. So look at my Twitter feed right now.
Okay, I'll do that.
And I would point out there is a big difference between Famous's coin, Famous being a Hexican in the community, building his coin inside of the RH ecosystem and crafting it with the RH intentions of freeing people economically and mentally and physically. And vampire attacks like Jack here that build their coin and just market hard to hex. Same thing happened with Colt. So look at Colt. They don't give no shits about us, just like Jack. Moment his coin launched, he was talking shit about Hex, about RH. And that's a vampire attack. So do know the difference between someone, a Hexican, that builds something, a platform that is in alignment with Hex, in alignment with our community, and a vampire that's just using us as a marketing scheme like Jack here. What's up, Bullish?
What's up, everyone? I just want to give my 2 cents. I've been trying to stay out this convo on purpose. Overall it's been great, but I think it's okay if we agree to disagree and stop imposing some of our personal feelings upon certain people. Clearly Jack, and not that I'm defending Jack in any sense, but yeah, we're hosting him. He's our guest right now in this space. We don't need to be an absolute dick about it every single time we disagree or we don't believe what he's saying. We can just agree to disagree and just move on to the next topic. That's all I wanted to say.
Nice. Simple Water, what's up?
So I was a little bit late to Hex. I was probably like day 400 or something like that. What was it like early? What was it like being part of the community early? What was kind of word on the street? What were people kind of pissed about it? Were people pumped about it? What were kind of the dynamics? And especially when something, and I don't know if anything like Hex has been done before, before it launched. But being so new, when Hex was so new, how was it perceived? And how is it judged? Because if it hasn't been done before, how is it looked at from the OGs?
I'm happy to take this one unless somebody else wants to.
Yeah, I'll talk after you because I have something to say about that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I've been following Richard since 2017. Richard was a Bitcoin maximalist, and I was maybe somewhat in that direction myself in 2017 as well. I didn't understand Ethereum as well as I should have, unfortunately. And kind of discovered Richard because he had really interesting views on crypto and everything, really. And then, and at that time, Richard was pretty well liked in the crypto world, especially the Bitcoin world, because he would basically go out and stridently defend Bitcoin, right? And he didn't really like Ethereum very much because Ethereum at that point was just a bunch of ICO scams. There wasn't really anything useful that that had been created yet. We didn't have Uniswap or Aave or things like that, right? It was literally just shitcoin scams, people claiming they were going to do things, right? And then Richard sort of started to talk about this odd idea of creating his own fluid dynamic coin, and then that went away. And then he started talking about this Bitcoin hex thing, and this really set everybody in the Bitcoin world ablaze with ire. Because at the time you had a lot of different types of Bitcoin like copies, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. We went through this thing with Bitcoin Cash that was very troublesome for the community as well. And so that immediately started to set people off. But then it took about a year for Richard to actually come up with Hex. After he started talking about this initial idea, he drops the word Bitcoin from it, and then we start to get the first details. And the first details we get, we start to learn about this OA thing, right? And it's an immediate red flag to everybody in the crypto world. Everybody's like, "What the fuck? You're going to give yourself half of the supply every time someone emergency end stakes," and everybody's doing the math on this, and we don't really get a very good explanation from Richard at that point in time. He's being cagey, kind of like Jack is being cagey now, by the way. Okay. And everyone in the crypto world is like fucking furious with Richard. Okay. Like absolutely fucking furious that you're a scammer. You're a terrible guy. Okay. There's a Medium article that gets posted probably the day before Hex is launched, basically calling it a massive scam, explaining how the OA is going to have all the supply, which means there's going to be this massive rug pull risk. And, this thing is just this terrible, terrible, terrible fucking coin. Okay. Then Richard still has a decent contingency of loyal followers, right? And these people all ape in on day one, okay? And I'm in the fucking Telegram on my account. You can go see it. There's actually a record of this where I'm saying this thing is going to go down quite a lot, right? Just the dynamics of it are going to be as such that the supply is being created every day for, I forget how long it was, 300, about a year or so, right? As part of the initial AA lobby. Okay. And then basically it went down 98% in 30 days. Okay. Richard is then being pilloried throughout the entire crypto world. Everybody's saying, "I told you so. This thing's fucking terrible. You're a scammer." He has this Peter McCormick interview where Peter McCormick says, "I hope you go get butt fucked." Like it's literally that brutal. Okay. And all these guys were basically, just really short-term thinkers going, "Hey, price is all the only thing that matters, and the chart's terrible. It sucks." And they didn't bother to try to think through what, is this person actually a smart guy? Maybe there's a plan here. Maybe there's something you want to try to understand medium term or long term. Okay. And it kind of reminds me of this a little bit.